Hi, I'm Cathy.
I'm Rachel.
I'm Orla, and welcome to Lunabird Bookclub.
Today we are on a trip outside. We have come to Haworth, the ancestral... That's not right. The ancestral home of the Brontes. We've just been for a walk around the Brontë Parsonage Museum and looked at the house that they grew up in and where some of them died and things like that.
And we found a little library.
And
We did find a little library.
It's so cute.
It is cute.
We'll show them soon.
Yeah, we'll show them soon.
And we're going to look at the church
And
then
the graveyard.
And browse some shops.
There's a cute bookshop in Haworth that I think we could both allow ourselves to buy one book from.
Yeah,
maybe.
I think that's allowed. Maybe Orla's allowed a book too if she wants one. And chocolate. We're going to go visit the chocolate shop.
Anyway, thanks for joining us. Oof, ancestral was the wrong word completely. Patrick Brontë was born in Ireland and Maria Branwell, who became Maria Brontë, was born in Cornwall. They married in Leeds and then moved to Haworth in 1820, a month after Anne was born, as Patrick took up the curacy at the church in Haworth. They had 6 children, the 3 Brontë sisters that we know, brother Branwell, and then 2 older sisters, Maria and Elizabeth. Unfortunately, Maria Brontë, wife, died in 1821, a year after they'd moved in. So her sister came to stay to help raise the children. But then the 2 oldest Brontë sisters, Maria and Elizabeth, died in infancy. They were 10 and 11. Does that count as infancy? I don't really know. Charlotte, Branwell, Emily and Anne were the 4 remaining children, and they lived in this house. This is their kitchen, and we previously saw Mr. Bronte's study. The museum has the rooms set up as they would have been in the Bronte's time. It was in possession of a different family, which was then donated to the Brontë charity to turn it into a museum. This is their living room, their dining room, and that sofa is believed where Emily died. This is the room where the children would come and write and play, their little study. And then it said that on the wall there were some drawings that one of the children, probably Charlotte, had done. And I did try to look at them, but I couldn't really see them. So I'm not sure if they're there. But you might be able to see them on the camera if you're very eagle-eyed. The room was so small. I can't believe how many of them fit in there. There are some other rooms that you can see in the museum that have more artefacts and a couple of other stage replicas of what the house would have been like, and this is a statue of the Brontë sisters. But another good thing about the museum is that there are interactive sections as well. There was this in the servants' quarters. There were some dress-up clothes if you have children that you want to take with you. And there's an interactive guide for the children as well with like a hunt on it. And then in the extension to the house, not in the main house, there's a room full of recovered artefacts, donated artefacts from the Brontes' actual lives. So that was really cool. There were so many examples of their writing as children in these teeny tiny books. It was so amazing to see what they did. What's inside it? Which of those books would you pick, Orla?
I don't know. I think I'll just pick the box that all the books are in.
Okay, it is a really nice box, isn't it? As I said, Patrick Brontë was a man of the cloth, so after the museum we came outside and the graveyard and church were there. This was the site of the gate leading to the church used by the Brontë family, and through which they were carried to their final resting place in the church. So after we'd been in the museum, we went into the graveyard for a little walk around, and Orla was really interested in why there were so many young children on the graves who had lived not long at all. So Cathy explained that as the graveyard was positioned geographically higher than the village, the water would run through the graveyard, and that was the water that the people in the village drank. And obviously passing through the graveyard isn't great for water for people to be drinking, and that was leading to quite a high infant mortality rate. But because the Brontes lived in the parsonage that was situated higher than the graveyard, that's why the Brontë siblings, actually 4 of them, did survive into adulthood. I love graveyards. I could genuinely just watch an hour's worth of footage of this, but I appreciate that not everybody will share that sentiment, so we'll cut it fairly soon. We then headed into the village itself. I just love villages, man. There's so many cute shops. We went to a sweet shop. This is the Curiosity Society, which has lots of cosmetic items, and then a little nichey kind of like apothecary type vibe to it, and there's a little book section around the corner which we enjoyed looking at. And obviously it was around Easter time, so there's lots of chickens and eggs, but look at those flowers in the window. It's so cute. I love it. We headed down the high street of the village looking for a place to stop to eat, because it was about 12:30, 1:45 at this point. We stopped at a little cafe, and we all had a toasty, and Orla had a strawberry milkshake, which I am led to believe was very tasty. And then we made our way further into the village, stopping in all the cute shops on the way down until we got to the park. We headed through the park onto a street called Butt Lane, which we had a little giggle at because we're very immature. And then we were making our way down to the railway line. Haworth still has a working steam railway line on it, so we went to the bridge to wait for the train to come past. So there we were, stood on the bridge overlooking the railway, and the train was coming, but there was no steam. We misread the timetable, and it wasn't the steam train, it was just the regular train. So we were all really disappointed. Well, I was really disappointed. I think that Cathy and Orla were disappointed too, but I know that I was. I was really looking forward to seeing the steam train go past, but it was just a boring regular train. There was no hooting whistles, there was no ambience in the air, and there were children in their prams, and I was sad that they didn't get to see a steam train. And we went back to check the timetable, and we would have had to wait another 15 minutes for the next one, and Orla's feet were already hurting. She wanted to go home, so we left pretty much straight away. We headed back up Butt Lane into the village and stopped in some more of the shops on the way back up. Cathy and Orla and I went into the chocolate shop, and they bought some chocolates for themselves and some for Rob, and we all got a little sample of some coconut milk chocolate, which was very nice. The Brontë sisters published their novels under male pseudonyms. Charlotte was known as Curra, Emily as Ellis, and Anne as Acton. They all shared the same surname. They were the Bells, which I think is really cute, that even when they were making up pretend names, they still chose to show that they were related.
Hello! Okay, we are heading off home now. Mm-hmm. We've had a good look round. We didn't see a steam train, but we
Very disappointing.
Yeah.
The timetable was very misleading.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
We've had to wait another 15 minutes for the steam train, and
Orla didn't want to.
Orla didn't want to. You were getting tired, right? We've had a good little browse. Rachel bought a book.
Woo! We all bought some sweets. There's some chocolate.
And chocolate.
Chocolate and sweets.
I also bought chutney and cheese. We had a good
You
foodie
did bring
day.
chutney and cheese, yeah.
All wanted to see her sweets. You got nerds. Nerds. We're not opening these in the car.
Yes, we are.
Because they'll go everywhere. They can stay up here.
Oh, you shouldn't have passed them forward, Orla.
Give them back to me.
So now we're heading back home. Maybe Rachel will film some footage of the moors so we cross over, because that's quite nice.
Ooh,
Well,
yeah,
at
that's
least
not a bad idea.
I can eat my chocolate.
No, don't eat the chocolate either.
No.
Here they are, the famous wild and windy moors. I do have to apologise for the filming in this section. It's really difficult to film in the passenger seat of a car when there's a wall. So I know that it's a bit blurry and a bit fuzzy and a bit shaky. So I can only apologise. But I think you can grasp how vast and desolate and never-ending the moors do seem to be. This is the landscape that is inspiring Emily's writing in Wuthering Heights. And it is believed that Emily was an avid walker. She often went out with the family dog. And with the weather being quite cold and rainy a lot of the time, it's not proven, but it's suspected that Emily's walking habits didn't help her failing health. So Emily died at the age of 30, about 3 months after Branwell, who died at the age of 31. That was in 1848. And then Anne passed away in 1849 at age 29, leaving Charlotte as the only Brontë child remaining. Charlotte died in 1855 at the age of 38, leaving Patrick Brontë all alone. Thank you for joining us as we were literary tourists to the Brontes' Haworth. If you are reasonably local, it's worth a trip. The museum has lots of little signs and you can see all of the artefacts. Wow.
And there's lots of shops and food, and it's a very sweet place to look round.
Yeah.
It's sweet because they're sweeties.
Sweet because they're sweeties.
And there's loads of bookshops.
There are 3 bookshops. Oh, well, no, technically 4 because there was some in the Curiosity one as well.
Yeah, lots of the gift shops have books too. So there's lots of opportunities to buy books.
Yes, and if you don't love books, I don't think you'd be watching this video. We release videos every Friday, so make sure to subscribe, then you don't miss one, and we'll see you next week for the moon.
The moon!
The moon. Bye!
Bye! Okay, bye!
So, anything else?
Should we just say, like, next week if you join us, we'll do a full moon video? You're just going to leave it enigmatic? Okay, fine. You'll see a moon next week.
People will be so confused. They'll be like, we see moon every day. Is
Maybe
there
I'll-
not a moon? Where's the moon?
Maybe I'll come in a moon phase costume. I'll do that in December for the last moon of the year.
Okay, I'll hold you
That
to
is on camera.
Please
so
do that.
There's
Please.
evidence of that. Anyway, I'm going to turn it off now.
Yeah, bye!
I can't find the button.
Bye!
Hello.
Oh,
Tracked mudding all over the place again. Sweet, sweet, sweet. It's all I think. I'm a bit worried that the Twitter would break off and create more mess.
a bird. Wow.